My name is Dorothy Gracilia, and this is my reflection synthesis piece for development communication. Development communication is a form, process, methodology of communicating something, a message from developed countries to the underdeveloped countries like the Philippines, who has societal problems. So these messages are actually solutions on how can they address their societal problems. And these are in forms of research results, new technologies, policies. These are those types of messages which the underdeveloped countries can use as a benchmark for them to resolve their problems. Or if not resolve, improve. There is areas to improve. So how can the developed countries, how can somebody in the developed stage really send a message to those underdeveloped? So first, of course, you should have the knowledge that you are trying to address. You are knowledgeable of the problems that they are facing, and you know how to attack it. Meaning you have identified the root cause of the problem. You are not only solving the surface layer problem, but you are solving it from the top, from the bottom. So it's a bottom-up solution. No. Next is you should have an understanding of the problem. How can you introduce an idea, a solution, if you don't have an understanding of the problem? So your message should be communicated in a way that it's presented to the audience that you have understood what is the problem. Okay. And once you communicate these solutions or suggestions, the objective is for the recipient is to accept what you're trying to tell them. How can they accept it? Of course, you should have a good communication medium on how you relay the message to them. Meaning you should have talked in a way or presented it in a way that the recipient would be receptive, or they would be in acceptance form of what you're trying to communicate, tell them. So this media is not limited on speaking. It's not limited in seminars. It could be in other forms. It could be in the form of leaflet, newspapers, radio communication, if you wanted, if the audience that you're trying to reach is only reachable through radio, or if not reachable, is you have to go there yourself and really tell them personally. And sometimes it requires an extra mile on your part, meaning you have for them. Sometimes, if you go to, let's say, in a tribe in the mountains, and you are a foreigner to them, and you're trying to give them a message, sometimes they just brush you off, and they don't really mind. Okay, you're saying, and then you just hear you in one ear, and then they take it out. It just comes out on the other end, the other ear. So that's not an effective way of communication, because what we are trying to do is communicate in a way that there would be an action or a behavioral change to our recipient, because we are relaying a message because we wanted something in return. we wanted a result in what we're trying to tell them. For example, they are doing their let's say they are growing their livestock in a certain way, and you coming a foreigner coming from the you have new ways, new technology that you wanted to share with them so that they could, improve on how can they, increase the production of their livestock. So meaning you have to be one with them. They have to feel you. They have a personal touch. They have to have that sense of feeling that you are with them and you are not trying to disrupt them on the way they live. What your objective is that you just wanted them to have a, an increase in production or to do their business in an easier way, you know. So going back to the action part. So in development communication, your main purpose is really not on how beautifully you presented the idea, how mag, how you wow the audience. That's not how they are how you impressed the audience. No. In development communication, what you are really after is what's the result? You give them a message, then did you get the result that you wanted? Was there a behavioral change in their end? What value have you given to your audience? You know? So that's the focus of development communication, value. So you have a message to give to your to the audience, and you wanted to put um value into it, and the only way to put value into it is for you to get a result on to get the results that what you've given them has really changed their lives, has really improved their lives, has really resolved their societal problems, and they have implemented measures, policies, so that these solutions would be sustainable and not just in short term. Meaning, if there's a chance, if there's an instance wherein the problem is trying to recur again, they would know already. They would have an early detection already that okay, this problem is going back. This already happened before, and we know how we resolved it. So that's the purpose of development communication. Value driven, results oriented, behavioral change. You're not after about what the numbers say, what you see from the newspaper, that you know what that what is it that it's no longer reported that there's shortage in food. That doesn't mean that there is really is the problem is not existent. You know, maybe it's not just visible. What development communication after is really that there is actual change. Actual development happened in the community, in the country, in the society. And the people have really unimproved in their living condition. So that is development communication. And development communication is empirical in nature, meaning it should be improvement is based on what we already know, meaning there is no drastic change. There is no drastic we are not trying to give them solutions that we know they cannot do. So first, of course, we have to understand them. Okay, are they capable of doing this? Have we equipped them with the specific skills that they needed that they could effectively implement the solutions? You know. So those, let's say, like in my going back in my example earlier, let's say a farmer in the mountains, and there's new technology on how can you plant fast, or how can you plan your planting season, or what to plant in on specific months of the year based on your based on your soil condition or weather condition. So meaning you have to understand first what is the problem, what is the capability of them to improve of the solution of the solution at this point. It could be, what is better is not to have the solution faster. We are not Development communication is not about getting the results faster. It's Development communication is about providing results, getting the results and sustaining the results over and over again in the long period of time, that it's no longer recurring. That's the only way that we can say that, oh, they have developed, they have evolved, they have adapted. Okay. So that's my reflection synthesis piece about development communication. And I have so much things in my mind, but it may, well, I'll just stop here. Okay. So that's development. Development is improvement that's really given value or resolve societal problems. And these societal problems are already in the managed state. And thank you. That's it.